Alright, so I have spent a couple hours on getting the frame a lot cleaner. As you can see from the floor, we did vacuum up a lot. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it one last good vacuum. Bit of a shot of it. I know it's a little dark in here. We do need new lights. Doing the best with what we can. Obviously, ideally, it would be the best idea to take this whole frame and go take it to somewhere who can sandblast it. But in which case, that would require we drop the fuel tank, we do a bunch of other things. Trying to keep it as budget as possible. So what we're doing now is we're going to go get some rust inhibitor, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to spray this thing down. And then once we're done with that, we're going to give it a nice black paint. Trying to do as best we can. We're trying to get up underneath there. I know the camera doesn't make it look, the camera makes it look worse than what it is. But you can see we've done mainly most of the inside. And the main thing was to get all of the big chunks. And, you know, there's going to be little flakes here and there. And, you know, it's not perfect. I had to go down through this. There was a lot of little flakes on that. We might touch up on it a little bit. Not sure yet what we're going to do with the fuel tank. I might have to drop that back down. I'm not sure yet. But you can see we'll have to drop those two off and pull that out. And, you know, we might do it, we might not. I'm not sure yet. We might try to just spray down in there as much as we can. Ideally, I'd like to be able to get in there, so we'll see. That's pretty much the only thing that's in the way, though. We did drop the wiring harness in the back so we could get into mainly all of this, and then we're going to go grab the hitch as well and do that, clean that up as much as possible. You guys saw how bad that was. This is this week's project. And I'm hoping to have this thing done by the end of the week. He's supposed to be bringing me parts, if not today, tomorrow, to throw on this thing. He did say he was going to paint that. I don't know if we're doing that now. This thing's like all over the place, but it's what it is. Once we start getting the back half taken care of, I'll get the rest of the front off, and you guys will see with the hitch. I'd like to get this thing cleaned up as much as possible, and then we can throw that back on. It definitely makes it a lot easier to work on this thing without the hitch on it. So like, if you guys will see, like I'm able to work down in there, and it also makes it easier with the hitch because like right here would be where the hitch is about. So I can come all the way in here. So it makes it a lot easier. Little restoration project underway. The frame, keep in mind, this is what we use to get like some of the bigger stuff off, and you can see tap some of those spots. There is no thin spots or no holes in the frame, nothing like that. It was a plow truck. He got really lucky that the frame isn't, you know, rotted, but I think it'll definitely clean up nice. We could sit here and go crazy with like, I started going with a wire wheel and whatnot. It creates a huge dusty mess. All right, ignore the fact that it is dark in here. So pretty much what we were instructed to do was just make sure there's no holes on the frame, get rid of any and all of the big chunks, a couple cans of rust reformer. So what we're doing now is just spraying overall what is left. So we're gonna let that dry, basically giving everything just one good cover coat, and then we'll go through and potentially paint over top of it. I need to verify and see if that's what we're going to be doing. But the main thing was spray it with rust reformer. That way any rust is frozen pretty much. So got all the big chunks off. You guys saw all of, you know, everything that was coming off of it. I'm going to try and do as decent of a job. Keep in mind some of it's still wet, so you're going to see some spots. So we're going to try to get around this as much as possible. We will not be dropping the tank. The main thing was to make sure, you know, there's no holes and no spots where, hey, the frame's going to buckle or anything like that. There's no weak spots. Definitely got super lucky on it. The front is actually in pretty decent shape. If you guys can see in here, there's no real chunks or anything like that. It's just all surface up here. In the back was definitely the worst of it. So when everything was like splashing up under here. We do also keep going back and forth between if we're going to put a flatbed and that bed on it. If someone comes and buys that bed before, you know, we throw it on, I still have yet to post it because I wasn't sure, but he did message me last night, said we do have a flatbed for it. So we're going to keep going back and forth between that, and if that sells first, then we'll just slap the flatbed on it. You can see I haven't painted anything on the inside. We're just rust reforming the outside. I'm trying to get it best coating as I can. We have 3 cans of it. That stuff's not super cheap either, so we're trying to get as much, how do you say it, much coverage as we possibly can with as little as we can. So try to make it nice, but at the same time, don't, we're not going super overboard with it. All right, so this here, we got everything sprayed and coated what we're supposed to. For the most part, we do have a little bit of the can left. So we're gonna let that dry for a little bit. I gotta go run some errands, and then we got a guy coming to pick up this engine later. So we'll be meeting him around 1. All right, so we got the frame all solidified. Like I said, our main goal, getting all the big chunks, and she is looking a lot better, so we're trying to decide on what we're gonna paint it with. Keep in mind, we only did from like the cab back, so we put about 3 cans of rust inhibitor on it just to kind of take care of what, we could. We're still going the flatbed route from last I heard, so we need to get this thing going. Like I said, this thing, $1,200. She ain't perfect, but I mean, probably clean upable, but it is a solid bed on top, just down below. All right, so we got this delivery late last night. I'm gonna go grab the correct hitch for it. I'm getting good at backing up to trailers, but I gotta go grab a jack and a hitch. So these are the tires that are going on black. We got a new downpipe, newer downpipe, I should say. We got the gooseneck hitch. This flatbed's going on there. We have front and rear bumpers. I believe this is the track bar here. And then I don't have the keys for Bertha right now. They're down in the shop. But we do have some other goodies in the truck as well. So we got the tuner and a couple other little odds and ends. I said we were going to do all that. But this is the flatbed that is going on. We're going to be redoing all of this wiring. You guys know how I am with wiring. This will be going on. We got 2 little pods down here, so we'll wire these into reverse, and then those we will wire into the top like I did on mine. And like I said, just bunch of clean wiring and whatnot. We have backup camera, the 7-way hitch, and then we're also going to be adding another 7-way hitch. I believe there's a spot for it right up in there. So we're going to be adding the second one too. We already have the wiring for it. This thing, I don't think it goes much higher. So I'll be right back. We got the Equinox if anybody wants this thing. I'm trying to sell this. I do not like driving this thing around, but we put some money into it, and she's clean. We'll see what happens. All right, we're all hooked up. That was a bitch, and that is also a bitch. You can see that. So we're gonna go back this into the shop, start unloading shit. 2 tires we gotta get mounted. The other 2 are already mounted. So probably throw the fronts on. Here's the adjustable track bar. And we'll see, I think this is all one piece. I think this is all the front bumper. Oh, there's yeah. Hard to say what everything is. I think that's a rear section. So we're gonna start organizing stuff out. We have the CTS3, we will get installed maybe today, then get it tuned. Then we have this, which is gonna plug into the 7-way harness, which is gonna go up into the secondary one for the gooseneck. So that'll go up here. And he just got that. Cummins fuel pressure. Well, fuel pressure test for any, well actually yeah, I guess it is just Cummins, but so we'll set that aside over in the bin. All right, so here's the before size, here's the after size. So these 315/70/17, so this is a 34.5-inch tire versus whatever these are. So we got 4 of those. 4 are already mounted. Sorry, we got 6 of those. 4 are already mounted, 2 are not. All right, trailer is clear. We got all the wheels and tires over here. He wants to get 2-inch spacers. Not sure yet if we're gonna go that route. So I'm filming 2 separate videos at the same time. So we're filming that one while we're filming this one. So I'm kind of like separating them. So if anything's out of order and whatnot, sorry about that. So he went and ordered a CTS3. You guys will see right here, which makes it a lot easier to install when there's no doors on the truck. Jeep truck. But here is the CTS3. We're just going to do the standard window mount that these come with, and we're going to upload tune number 1 as requested after he brings me the next truck. And this one's done. Actually, once the next truck's done, I should say, we're going to upload tune 4. So I'm going to get all of this routed correctly, make it nice. Might have to update it. We will see. But in the meantime, here's the cable ties. We're going to get all this installed. Alright, got everything set up. Right here is going to be where the plug's at. Goes up. I made sure to put this right here so that you have easy access to it. We have everything tied up. Goes up in, and then we can throw this guy back into its place. This one will be a little bit of a fight. Throw that in there. And all that. There you go. Now we just have to mess with the install. Prior to use, read unit, blah, 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 yes. Alright, we're going to film a little bit. Today is a clusterfuck. So, we got a lot of this stuff cleaned up. Stacks are going in the F-150. This is the flatbed. We measured it out. He didn't want to do it, so we're putting that back. Oh, actually, we're getting another bed. That one's still for sale. But, 4th gen mirrors. We got all the fender hardware and all that. Put a socket on one side of this, pull it out. So fenders are in the scrap. I need to pull the door handles, everything off of these. And then these are going to scrap. And then all the hinges, then it's going to scrap. The hood. You want this hood? You gonna take it and paint it?
For now. So I'll bring it to the paint shop. You like Coke?
Yeah, we got the fenders in the scrap. You said this was a fence post?
This is a backup for that.
Yeah, he was saying that was a fence post. So, I guess we're putting it on the F-150 right now. But yeah, this flatbed. You said this doesn't measure out right?
The front spacing is fine, width-wise.
Front spacing's fine.
The back slightly varies, but what changes is the distance. So where these tabs are, this is about 16 inches. That starts at 20 inches, the first setup. These go to 42, then to 53. I believe I put them on that cardboard. So they didn't, we would have been changing where the tabs were. Plus the heights vary on some of them. So this is set up better for a 2nd gen. We're just going to bolt on.
Yeah, just bolt it right up to a 2nd gen. All right. We'll bring it in when you want to get it actually wired correctly.
In your stash. Too.
Oh, goodness.
You ain't getting both of them, bro. Come on, dude.
Oh! Saturday shenanigans. Fuck. Alright, I'm going to get these doors moved over here and start grabbing. I was going to wait till Monday, but I might as well just do it now. Alright, so we're just waiting. This is all going to go to scrap. Got them stacks on there. Fucking sick. But we got door number 2. Basically all we're just taking is the speakers off of this one and the hardware for the mounts. He's going to get me speakers, apparently the other doors. They're going to have all the other stuff, so we're just going to take all that to scrap. He's taking the flatbed, and I'm going to back in, get everything. Oh, I'm going to miss it. There he goes. You can still see the stacks. Bertha barely fits, but she fits. We're going to be looking into getting a forklift at some point as well. That'd be a pretty sweet idea because we can get one more truck here. We can fit 1 here, 2, 3. So we can actually get 7 trucks in here, which would be awesome. But for now, can't do that. So we're going to get everything loaded up, throw everything in the back of Bertha, and get ready to make a scrap run because I have too much shit. And I like my shop being clean. While we're waiting on parts for this, I got to get the fenders on before I do the track bar so that we know that everything's going to be straight. He is now telling me to keep the plow setup on the truck. But we're going to get the bigger wheels and tires on. So we're going to do the 2 fronts and we're going to put 1 on the back because he's going to bring me 2-inch spacers. So at least it'll be rolling. Not sure what we're going to do with these wheels and tires, but I'm going to set them aside for that. We have also cleared out a lot of this stuff. He said hold off on the bumper and the winch. We got this for Bertha. So if we need to do jumper cables and shit, we have that. So this truck is gonna be a decent service rig. So these are all that we have left. He's got some 4th gen mirrors on order. We're gonna be doing this. We talked about getting a new bed and this and that. We're gonna wait until all that, but everything here is cleared out. It's nice having all this room again. So here's the adjustable track bar. We kept some of the stuff aside, trying to keep the interior clean. Don't worry about that. So we can already see the difference before I put it on. I actually have to jack it up even more, about an inch or so to get that on, but that looks way better than that. Also gonna go through and clean these lug nuts because you see how nice, I wonder, see how nice those are? Look at that. Just take one of these. Get all 4 sides. Look how much cleaner that is. You got a lot better torque to 140. Look at that compared to the back. You can see the difference. Alright, this is generally the biggest size you can get on these wheels. I see guys doing 37s, but 315 70 17 seems to be like the perfect. And you can see there's still clearance between everything. If you put the second one on without the spacer, it'll really push the tire in a little bit more. And on my last truck, it actually was hitting the leaf springs a little bit, just enough, the little nubs on the side. Not enough to hurt anything, but I'm gonna go grab the other one just to show. So that's not the final. I didn't bolt that in, just kind of set it there so you guys can see. This is what she'll look like. And you can see without the spacer, you can screw these in. Like there's enough room to get some thread engagement and then really start hugging it in. It's just a pain in the ass and you gotta slowly go around in a circle motion. He is bringing me some 2-inch spacers, but with the 2-inch spacers, she is gonna be thick. Let's just put it that way. To sum it down, yes, you can run them without spacers. Should you? Makes it a pain in the ass. I recommend the spacers. Just get some good hub-centric ones. Because if not, you're going to have to center that outer wheel by putting 2 lug nuts in that are lug-centric. And it makes it very tricky, kind of a pain in the ass, but... Alright, we're going to go do the other side now. I did clean these lug nuts off too. Here's your side-by-side comparison. You can see how small this one is. Like, I can put my hand, let's see, right about there. That's the whole tire, except like maybe an inch here. If I do the same thing over here, there's a lot more meat over there. It's also taller, so she's gonna bring the truck up about an inch or so. I don't know what these are, the height-wise, but these are 34.4. So, these wheels and tires, we're taking 2 of these. We're gonna go get them dismounted and then go remount them later, tomorrow sometime at Monroe. Here is the before, all that crap that's in there. And then there is the after. It's looking a lot better. So even though I don't have the spacers, I'm still able to show you guys. This is kind of what she's gonna look like. I put the tire about 2 inches on the hub. You won't see the bolts, but that's about where she's gonna sit. Maybe a smidgen in a little bit, but it's pretty close. We got the other side off, got everything all cleaned up. So, doesn't hurt to put some never sees on the inside of the hubs. Alright, I'm gonna call it on the video for this because it's probably getting too long at this point. But if you guys are wondering why things take the time that they do, it's just a huge organization. This guy lives about 2 hours away, so he's made 2 trips down here so far. Bringing parts back and forth, this and that. So, finally got me wheels and tires. He's supposed to be coming with doors, fenders, and some other things coming soon this week. He told me just throw this back on. We'll figure out the grill situation. The new fender, he said, we should have a new antenna, but we saved everything. That's pretty much it with this truck. Between the track bar and just throwing the body back on, the truck's pretty much done, unless he wants to add more to it. We will be taking in more projects like this if anything's interested. This guy, last I heard, he's supposed to be here tomorrow. So if that happens, they want the automatic in it. We're still in a race between who gets here first, the manual trans or the guy with the automatic. The truck was originally an automatic, so it could go back just as easily. I was saying, we're keeping busy here for the most part, but we are going to be taking more of these projects in. I'd like to, by January, have a second guy in here, specifically like for Power Strokes and Duramaxes. So if you guys have any of that stuff, I would like to start incorporating those in here, and hopefully eventually get a lift or so in here so that we can like pull cabs and shit like that. Makes life a lot easier. Like I was saying with this, we'll have another video on that. This is going to have its own dedicated video. Everything has its own dedicated videos at this point. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you guys do. cpstevemiller.com. Feel free. Send some work here. We are in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And I'll catch you in the next one.